And the bottom left in the red here. Took down Maru in a TVT, and a late game TVT to get here. It's Gumiho. And in the upper right, in the blue, going for a gas cancel early. It's Solar. And we saw Solar do this against ByuN, and my assumption was that this was a response to ByuN's aggressive openers. Right? Gas cancel. Get a go hatch pool gas. Get your lings out earlier. Get your queens out just a little bit earlier. Okay, fine. That makes sense against a 2x pressure that we've been seeing ByuN, and really only ByuN doing oh so often. But this is against Gumiho. This is on, granted, it's Royal Blood. It's a shorter map, but Gumiho's not a 2x madman. He's not someone that you can kind of mind game, metagame doing this. So Solar apparently just thinks this is the way you want to play that, or he's just consistently forgetting his Overlord. But I don't think that's the case. Not 5 games in a row, or 4 games in a row at this point. So now we get to see just what the players have in store for us here. Yeah, it was a bit of an interesting opener for Solar, but Solar has always been one of these players that is very willing to mess around with speed timings, really, because that's what this is. Hatch gas pool, do delay when you get gassed, you get a 4-minute speed, 330 speed. This one is about a 345 speed. And what that means is anytime you can go and kind of slow your speed down while not taking any damage, that is technically better. Right, it means that you've been able to kind of greed elsewhere. You've been able to get maybe an extra drone, extra half a drone, something out like that, and it's a minor optimization. But for now, Gumiho is doing the polar opposite of that last TVZ we saw. It's a 3cc play, and actually, this looks like it might be mech in that he is moving his barracks very far out on the map to try to kill an Overlord, but there's no Overlord to find. Gumiho went around the corner. He finds the way behind the mineral line there, so yeah, it's not going to happen. But the reason I say that this is likely mech is that, A, first of all, it's Gumiho. And second of all, normally when we see a Terran player eat so much production time on their barracks by floating over to try to kill an Overlord, generally that means they don't care nearly as much about their Marine count. They don't care quite as much about maybe the stim timing or anything like that. But no. Oh, never mind. That's the barracks going home. So right now we're looking at a 1-1-1. Third base on the way here as we see the reactor get dropped pretty quickly. We're going to have to see what exactly Gumiho goes for. Never mind. Yeah, this is absolutely mech. I'm talking about, the small signs. Oh, he floated the barracks. That's probably mech or something. That was a 3-minute third gas. Generally, if you're looking for tell, if a Terran takes double gas before double gas in the natural, so 4 gas in total before 430, that generally okay, that's gonna be mech. This is such a quick third gas coming out of Gumiho here, and it's gonna be interesting to see what exactly he's going for, because for now it is that ByuN idea, right? It is the Cyclone, it is the Reapers, it is the Marines, it is this kind of kitchen sink drop. But behind this. Okay, so Banshees makes some level of sense, right? You got the 1-1-1. Hellions getting made as well. I kind of was expecting to see Cyclones drop on there. There we go. You get the lock on the Overlord, and that means this is just a dead Overlord right now, or at least it should be. One more shot. Doesn't get it actually, but the Queen will fall. And that's pretty nice. Pick up, run away. Don't lose the medevac. And Gumiho would have liked to get the Overlord too, but getting a Queen is very happy. Very, very nice. So Ling runs in, gets a scout, and did it see the extra factories? No, it didn't. So it just knows that this is 3cc play. But I think he saw the gas. No. Okay, he also didn't see the gas at the natural. So Solar really doesn't have a solid idea about what's happening in this game. He's got inklings. It's like, okay, maybe this Cyclone drop's weird, but ByuN did that in the last series, and ByuN went bio, so that's not really a tell. So now what, the second question is, what type of mech is coming out of Gumiho here? He's got, okay, battle mech. Yeah, that makes sense. Really, that does make sense. He's got Mag Field on the way. The thing that's really interesting is he continues to pump Banshees out. He's got 2 of them. Third one on the way, and this is I want to say this was Maru we first saw do this. Is a lock on there on the Queen. Gets heavy damage, but not enough to kill. I want to say we saw Maru do this first, where you go and it's battle mech, but you add Hyperflight Banshees on top of it, and that's a lot of damage. It means roaches that are not nearly as good as the Lings on this counterattack here, but Hellions kite as well as they can. Even still, 2 SCVs will go down and into the main base. They're going to try to catch a Hellion. They don't find it, but still 6 dead workers here, and more importantly is more Hellions go down. More importantly here, this is a setup where Gumiho is forced home. He can't play on the map as much as he was like. And by the way, what was in those queen drops? Or was that... Okay, that was queen drops. So the Banshees get found on out here, and the queen drop actually gets found out. The Banshees forced back a little bit. I don't think this works from Solar. I really don't. Not with the Cyclones here, not with the Banshees as they are. Hyperflight Rotor's halfway done. Cyclone, halfway done as well. But I really do feel like this is going to be... Gumiho's going to have enough to defend. He's actually dropping a missile turret just to prevent his tanks from getting, dropped on top of. And he may have to give the third base up. And that actually... this is a lot of SCVs that are going to go down. Gumiho just too late on the pull. This actually... I withdraw my complaints. This absolutely gets everything at once. But on the other side here, the drones are kind of stacked up, but they're not going to find it. What I was going to say was, maybe you kind of forced to lift the third, but as long as the SCVs get out, I mean, you're more than fine. You just kind of turtle in your natural. You got Hellions, you got Cyclones, you got tanks on the high ground, you got Banshees to fight. Like, it just works out really, really well here. Now Queens on that mag field, they get shredded. But losing 16 SCVs, that is not the solution. That's not how you want to play this game. So, yeah, you know what? Solar's taking a little bit of damage on the other side, but not a ton. And he continues to establish pressure on the map. Here's now Hellbats. They're going to morph in, and with a medevac on top of them, they will not go down. Not in a choke like that. So Banshees, all 4 of them here with Cloak and Hyperflight. This 4th base should get killed. Cancelled, whatever you want to say. Queens will not be able to defend this in time, so that's going to be a dead base. As now Overlord runs in, just soaks some of the shots there from the Cyclones. But now Creep Tumor's going to get knocked down here. Cyclone will fall, though, and now Lings feel unlocked to get on top of the tanks. Bile's on the tank behind the wall here, so 3 tanks die. And somehow that Natural's not dead yet, but the Banshees, they want to get more. They need more here. So drones, that's going to be the next target coming on out of Gumiho. And by the way, only 3 queens left on the map. And actually, only 2 queens left on the map right now. 4 of them on the way at a time. But Solar has, lost a fairly significant amount of his production and his anti-air defense. But he also loses the 4th base to that single Hellbat that has been sitting there for like the last 5 minutes. That's kind of ridiculous. This is a scrappy game here. Solar, not even above 150 supply with 15 swarm hosts on the map. On the way is kind of crazy. Now Hellbats are or Hellions are gonna find their way in. A couple more workers go down, but more importantly, there's a scout. Gumiho is now well aware of the fact that, yeah, you know what, there are storm hosts on the field. This is oh, that's a roast him. He's not gonna get another shot, but still 8 drones at the deck here. Gumiho's well aware that this is swarm host play. And that should allow him to address and adjust kind of the composition that he's going for well in advance of what Solar wants to do. And realistically, you don't change that much. You want Hellbats, you want Blue Flame Hellbats, sit on top of your army, and that kind of eats the Locust and you're fine. So Gumiho just kind of needs to keep doing what he's doing, but the Hellbats are in the wrong spot. And the Swarm Hosts are coming in from the right side now. So these tanks are... these are going to be some dead tanks. Very quickly here, Hellbats just not where they need to be. Hellions try to kite away as well as they can. And that's a couple dead tanks. Now, the Roaches and the Ravagers, they're going to start to arrive here. Biles don't land, but here's the problem. There are only 3 Queens right here. And there's so many Banshees. The damage is just overwhelming. And we're going to see tank... Oh, okay, that's cool. Interference Matrix on the Queens to make sure there are no transfuse, really proving the power of the Ravens. So now the Banshees just sit on top of the Roaches, and what the hell are you supposed to do? Roaches, Ravagers, they will fall, and this is just so expensive. Yeah, 3 tanks died, but 3 queens died, a bunch of roaches, a bunch of ravagers died, maybe a swarm host or 2. No, okay. No dead swarm hosts, but we're kind of hitting this point now. It's 3 queens versus 5 banshees. This is nearly critical mass. These banshees can just fight. They're gonna kill everything here. Roaches, they try to morph in, but I mean, roaches are not anti-air, not really. So banshees, the queens are slow to build. You disable them, you shut them down. Interference matrix is a really nice thing. No heals, no transfuses, and it's going to be more and more dead queens. You're just targeting the one that can fire, and you kill the one that can't. Okay, second banshee has gone down, but pop invisibility is not doing much. Solar, despite the fact that he's losing so much on the other side of the map, these swarm hosts are actually doing a lot. I think Gumiho thought he might be able to get on top of them a little bit more, but he didn't build enough Hellbats. So he bleeds out once again. And you know what I would like to see? More than anything, I just want to see Hellbat Banshee coming out of the production queue for Gumiho at this point. The anti-air is just not there, and you need Hellbats to deal with the Locust. So that makes sense. But anyway, Gumiho, 64 workers right now. Army supply starting to catch up a little bit. Now these Cyclones, there's so many Overlords that are going to go down. This is going to supply block Solar pretty heavily. 176. I didn't get the last 2. Okay, that could have been 160 supply cap. But now, Hive on the way. And a Nidus. But this is a Zerg that's only just now taking their 4th base. This is not a rich anti-mech player. So we're looking at 4 Banshees. 5th one on the way, plus 2 vehicle plating. So these Banshees, they are actually very tanky. Unfortunately for Gumiho, the timing he had where there was just no anti-air is kind of gone. Hydras have started to enter the field. You know, it's Hydra, Roach, Ravager, Swarm Host. It's a weird composition. But at the very least, you know, you can fight small amounts of things. You can kill Nidus pretty quickly if you're able to find it, and certainly you can kill bases. So Gumiho scouts north side, finds that there's a 5th base on the way. Here's the Nidus popping up, but doesn't quite know where it is. Not just yet. He's just busy kiting away from these roaches, these Ravagers. Every lock on is death. But really, what do we want to see him do? Is just lock down that Overseer. Pop a lock on the Overseer, kill that off, and then the Hydras can't do much. They won't have the detection. So for now, SCVs are going to get pulled away. Just lift the 3rd. It's not worth anything. Lift the 3rd. Lift the 3rd. Lift the 3rd, Gumiho. Okay, there we go. It's like, oh, that's starting to get a little scary. But now, that is in the main. That's not going to find much of anything here. And at this point, Gumiho feels very solidly in control of this game. Yeah, he was down 26 army supply, or 26 supply, 22 supply, something like that. But his army is just so much better. Here's massive lock on. That Nidus is not going to pop on up. Gets a lock on the Overseer as well, but doesn't kill it. And now Gumiho can get a 5th. These Swarm Hosts are just... Oh, no. The Banshees are going to find them all. That feels bad. 1 Swarm Host, 2nd one. 3rd one should fall. It should get a 4th maybe, but 1 Banshee will die. So at least that's something. At least that is, you know, some comeuppance. It's not going to get everything here, but I mean, the tanks are seized. The Locusts swarmed very early. Did the Raven die? Where's this Raven? Okay. On the left side. On that hit squad. So, by the way, I love the addition of the Raven here. It means you can clean up the creep so cheaply. And on top of that, shut down spellcasters. Shut down the queens. I mean, that was such a key moment in that game. And now, is that a Spire? I think that was a Spire that went down. Anyway, now, well, the Vipers are going to go down. Hydras will fall here. And this Cyclone pressure is just... It's finally cutting through for Gumiho. He's got a Nidus going up in the main. It seems like there is some pressure on his 3rd. In fact, he lost that 3rd base. Just not quite paying attention because the Hydras were... I mean, well, I guess Hydras can kill even in the air, but Gumiho, we talked about how he's, you know, finding a good position in this game. Yeah, he's got the 4th. He's got his 5th base up, and he's going to kill off the 5th base of his opponent, but both players also lost a base as well, so that's a little bit awkward. Oh, no, the Vikings. Oh, the Vikings, the Banshees, they will all fall down here. And they have been by far the most important component of this game. Oh, and I'm sorry. It looks like the 3rd base of Gumiho didn't fall. I thought it did. But no, it was just pulled away into a position on the map that I didn't see. So that stays alive. And now, random 2 mutas. Interesting. Like, I can understand the concept of corruptors and broodlords and things, but the mutas are just weird. And it does, you know, it feels like just a minute ago I was saying, wow, you know, Gumiho was really starting to pull ahead in this game, and he was. But then a couple mistakes and a couple bits of miss micro and not being where he needs to be, and all of a sudden, he's lost another base. He's going to lose so many SCVs here, and we're not to the point where a mech player wants to give SCVs away. I'm actually very surprised that he did that we didn't see Solar just try to hide the drones and the Nidus, but for now, 26 workers have died on both sides. Gumiho has less to mine from, though, less positions to mine from. So Solar, once he gets his workers back to mining, he's going to have a pretty solid economy here, up about 20 workers. And now, Broodlord's starting to enter the game. Still ways off, but starting to morph in here as Solar gets the money for it, as he gets the minerals, as he gets the gas. And I'm not quite sure exactly what little abduct there's gonna kill. There we go. I'm not quite sure exactly what Solar or what Gumiho's gonna have to defend against these broodlords. Cyclones, I guess. Something like that. I mean, it is just really hard to deal with the broodlords in the sky in this composition with how broke Gumiho is. I mean, 43 workers is not a lot, and more importantly, he hasn't really set himself up for the transition. He's got a bunch of gas, but really no minerals, and you need both to build Thors. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, but for now, he's pushing on the map here. Broodlords, it's not a heavy count. It's only 6 of them, and that's a great scan right there. That tells him exactly what he needs to know. So now you're going to play Keep Away. If you're Gumiho, keep away from the broodlords. Don't allow them to fight, but still try to get base trades. Try to get damage where the broodlords are not. But that's a little bit harder to do than it once was, because broodlords now, they are speedy boys. They got that buff over the last balance change. They can maneuver on the map just a little bit more. So we're going to see the battle mech going to try to kill as much as it can. Not a lot, actually. This base should not go down. And tanks are just fleeing desperately for their lives, but actually most of them get out. So now 3 Thors are on the way. A couple more tanks go down, and Gumiho's going to hit, or Solar's going to hit the timing right now. The broodlord count is much higher. Now we're looking at 8, not just 6. Going to get a 9th one on the way here, and oh, the tanks are going to get found out. That's a little bit awkward, but even still, no armor upgrades do mean that these Hydras, they die fairly quickly. So got to back up just a little bit, and Gumiho's, it's the base trade. The base trade with the mech, just because you can't fight these broodlords, not until you're really truly ready for it. So for now, Gumiho, his job is to bend and operate. His job is to buy as much time to get like maybe 6 Thors out, and then he can start to do something. But oh, this is a nice opportunity here. A couple tanks are going to go down very quickly. Thor gets abducted, gets saved actually on the medevac. Even still, though, that's a low Thor. Concave from the Hydras. Hellions trying to find the shots that they want. And the tanks can't siege because they're going to kill themselves. So the Thors, they're not fighting the broodlords. They're fighting their death. And Solar takes game number 1. In the bottom right, in the blue, he's up 1. Pay no attention to the transition. Not sure why that got things confused. He is Solar. And in the upper left, in the red, down 1. Mech didn't work. Gumiho. So again, we see Solar going for that that pool first, or the hatch pool gas. gas cancel. So it seems like I'd love to see someone ask him about it, because this is not how you normally, this is not how any other Zerg in the world plays, at least not consistently. And I was looking at this against ByuN, you know, my understanding was, okay, well, this makes sense. It's ByuN. ByuN is a player that loves to go for the 2 racks idea. He's the one that loves to get aggressive. Okay, fine. Yeah, you play counter him. Get your queens faster. Get your lings faster. But Solar's just doing it regardless of the map, and he's doing it regardless of the player. And I think that's fascinating. And unfortunately, I just don't really have a good explanation. I wish I did. I mean, again, we have, you know, you can talk about early queens, early lings, but I don't know why suddenly Solar thinks that this is a better way to play, kind of compared to the meta that has been that had just kind of previously been existing. Right, when the 16, 18, 17 type of idea that has been just the way you've played the game, just the way you've played TVZ for, I don't know, 2, 3 years, 4 years at this point. I mean, it's been the predominant way to play for so long that it's surprising to see Solar say, yeah, no, this is actually the better way to play. But again, as we said last game, Solar has always been one of these players that is willing to mess around with his timings a little bit, willing to go and see if he can optimize, see if he can play around and find some value that way. So for now, Reaper into the main base doesn't find all that much, but I'm keeping an eye on Gumiho. All right, because game 1, he went mech and it felt like he was just about to win and then he didn't, as can sometimes happen. But Gresvon can be a map that's solid for mech for one reason and one reason only. Well, for multiple reasons, but the big one is that this high ground base effectively unlocks this base and kind of unlocks this base as well. So that is one of the things we can look at if we say, okay, a map's good for mech because you can hold a small position and it opens up a lot more of the map for you. That very much could be a possibility. Remember, Gumiho took a very quick third gas in game number 1. It was, I want to say it was a 3:45 third gas, something like that. But in this game, it seems like it's going to be a much more standard. So for now, only on 2 gas. Hellion Banshee on the way. Hellion's trying to dive in, but the wall of the queens. This is, I don't know when this tech was figured out, but it's actually so cool. You can block Hellions, you can body block Hellions from going up your ramp with 1 queen. If you get the position properly, which just feels so weird. Like, it doesn't feel like it should be possible, but you kind of put them on a diagonal, and if the Hellions aren't in a single file line, the pathing pugs, and you can prevent them from going up in the main, which is, it doesn't feel like that's how it should be, because, you know, 2 queens can fit on the ramp. So a Hellion and a queen should be able to, but no, that's not how that works. So Solar prevents the scout in the main, gets a couple Hellions for his troubles, but now Raven on the way. This is kind of interesting, right? Single Banshee, single Raven. You don't get, and it's going to be bio behind this as well. But this is interesting, right? Because you don't get double Banshee. Double Banshee, of course, one-shots Marines. Or one-shots drones, excuse me. One-shots Lings as well, but it's the drones that you care about. Instead, Gumiho's going to get the single Banshee, which is going to deny the 4th base. So, hey, there we go. That's already kind of paying for itself, but it's going to, you know, slow down the 4th base. And then behind that, he's going to have 5 Hellions, so not a ton. Of course, he did lose 2. But he's going to have a couple Hellions. He's going to have a Raven. So a bit of creep control that he's not using to control the creep. A bit of harass that he's not using to harass. And it's bio behind this. This is, I don't know. It's kind of weird. But regardless, Gumiho, I'm sure, has some idea in his brain to figure out what happened, what he's going to go for. And, you know, honestly, some of this might just be kind of a bit of a bait, right? He went mech game number 1. He went mech against Maru. Some of this might just be like, hey, you know, Solar, I'm going mech, clearly. Like, I have a Raven, but Axes, yeah. Wait. Sorry. Solar. Actually, yeah. Solar hasn't really seen anything, so you know, he might buy that, but yeah, I don't even think so, right? Because you would expect to see cyclones on the map by now, anyways. So that's not going to be a thing. And Bio is about halfway done for Gumiho. 1-1, or 1-1, excuse me, just about halfway done. 1-1, about halfway done for Solar, as well as he wants to play this Lingbane heavy style. He's been finding really tremendous success with against ByuN, against other top tier Terrans. So let's see. It's gonna be interesting to see if he can make this one happen against Gumiho. But for now, Gumiho is not able to go and get much done. You know, its creep is massive on the map here, despite the Raven. It just really has not been in the not been to the power, not been to the tempo that Gumiho would like. So Hellions, the Raven now on the right side, finally starting to be able to clean up some of this creep. And well, 1-1 is going to be done identically, or nearly just about for these two players. So that's not going to provide anyone a timing. I believe the armory is done. Yeah, armory is done for Gumiho, so should be able to get 2-2 started very quickly here. As the Banelings, well, they're going to force this drop back. And I mean, Solar's in such a comfy position right now. He's got his 5th base going up as the 3rd base of the Terran. His Terran's only on 3 bases, you know. Is there a 4th command center that I'm missing? No, there's not. So Gumiho is only on 5 racks. There's the 4th base on the way. But I mean, Solar starting his 5th before the Terran starts his 4th is just beautiful for the Zerg player here. But you got to be careful, right? This is still a powerful push coming out from Gumiho. But Baneling speed's done. Upgrades are equal. 2-2 is going to get started at a similar time. But that's actually a big deal. Anti-armor missile on the Banelings and the Lings, but primarily the Banelings is such a big deal right now because it effectively means that they don't have upgrades. You have a 2 upgrade lead, give or take, on your bio against the Banes, and that makes it so much easier for you to go in and really kind of try to break through. But for now, Gumiho's just dealing with creep. He's got an army on the center of the map. He's got kind of an army on the bottom side a little bit, but he's not going to try to really sledgehammer through this. This is not ByuN. This is not Clem. Gumiho is very content to let this game go later and later if that's just what the situation calls for. So for now, it's a little bit of pressure, right? You know, he's doing a good job of curtailing the creep that was so powerful early on. Anti-armor missile on the Banelings gets most of them. Now again, Solar's going to have to back up. Meanwhile, double drop on the north side with a 3rd medevac for good measure, but it's not doing anything. I guess it's extra healing. Double drop, though, is going to find this base. Doesn't get much done. And Gumiho, there is no second punch here. Solar's doing a great job of keeping things set up defensively. He's got tons of Lings, tons of Banelings outside of the 3rd base. You know, he's in a fantastic spot. And now, of course, the next... Oh, Gumiho. Cheeky there. Just drop 1 Marine to kill off 1 Bane. Run away for the rest of it. Anti-armor missile on a couple of these Queens. But yeah, so... Oh, another baseball fall. Nice job. Or a baseball fall there from Gumiho. Nice job. But Solar just about has his hive done. 3 or 2-2 done, give or take. Again, that the melee or the plus the couple of these upgrades are a little bit slower than others, but you know, near enough about the same timing. So that's fun. That's done. But the big deal here is hive is done. Hive is complete for Solar, but we haven't seen anything out of that, right? There's no Ultra Cavern. There's no Lurker Den. It may just be for Vipers and upgrades. But for now, Gumiho is pushing here. And it seems like he's going to get this base. Yeah, Solar's just going to give it up. Not willing to contest it. He's going to re-engage right now, but the base is already dead. It's not a position that matters anymore as he gets on top of the Marines trying. And this tank line is just so hard. It's so difficult for Gumiho to attack into. So... Or, excuse me, for Solar to attack into. So Gumiho gets a base, loses a couple SCVs, but takes a pretty significantly better trade. Oh, look at this, though. Solar, he's got double Lurker Dens on the way. This is actually pretty cool. So You might be tempted to say that this is a mistake, but I don't think so. Well, maybe it is, because one lurker den is in the main, one's in the natural. I was gonna say that this feels like he's trying to hit a lurker timing, right? With seismic spines and burrow and lurker burrow speed at the same time. But I think this was just a mistake. This was Solar maybe trying to play a little bit too fast. So now dropping the main from Gumiho is gonna find this first lurker den, and actually this will be a blessing in disguise, because I think this lurker... no, he's not going to be able to get... Oh, no, he's going to target it down here. Lings aren't in time, and the transfuses are not enough. So that's going to be a dead lurker den. That's going to be a dead north side base here as well. Gumiho taps it down, picks up, runs away. And now it's a blessing in disguise, because there's still a lurker den in the natural. If Solar's aware of it here, he's going to be able to get that upgrade started much quicker than you might otherwise have expected. So mistake might turn into a boon. But you do have to realize what's happening. So for now, 3-3 is on the way, and Solar, he's got the money. But again, he needs to realize it. So Gumiho's starting to establish a little bit more map control, denying bases from the Zerg, getting 2 of them in as many minutes, and killing a lurker den, which, you know, again, there's a second one. I'm not sure that Solar's aware, but there is a second one. But more importantly is here come this fight. Nice blinding clouds on one of the tanks. And the Banelings should be able to clean this up, but this is not all of Gumiho's army. Is on the north side, targets more Banelings down. It really just attack moves the Banelings down here. Queens will fall as well, and this should be a dead base. The Lings come filtering in. There's going to be more eventually, and that actually, okay, will force the tap out here. Anti-armor missile, though. I guess that, yeah, okay, those came from the middle of the map and got hit with an anti-armor missile. I love this one random Raven. I wasn't totally sure how I felt about it early game. It's like, you know, you got one Banshee, one Raven. What are you gonna do, right? That's not a ton of value. But if you're able to keep it alive, like Gumiho has, anti-armor missile is a free 2 upgrade lead against almost anything. And it's, you know, vision. You spend less money on scans. It's just kind of it works out wonderfully, kind of everywhere. So for now, Solar finally is going to be able to get that north side base up. 3-3 on the way. Seismic Spines. Solar did realize that he had the lurker den of the natural, and it's going to work out after all. So Seismic Spines, they're done. Lurkers now, of course, have been produced at this point. But Ghosts are already out on the map. +2 on the way. Liberator's getting added in. This is a Solar that is not hitting the timing that he would have liked to hit when it was just kind of Marine tank, when it was just pure bio tank. Let's see now. Triple drop into the main base here. The hive is low, and that seems to be the target coming out of Gumiho. It's going to deny burrow, and it's going to get the hive. Queens don't have the energy for a transfuse. The burrow denied. Hive dead. Spawning pool going to fall down here as well, and Lings are so important into this fight now on the north side as well here. Need another scan to kill the lurkers, but to kill base. No, that's going to be very visible indeed. Queens now continue to go down. These Marines doing so much. Again, another dead base, now Liberators as well. Everything is coming up roses for Gumiho here in this game number 2. All of a sudden, he gets more bases. He gets the hive. He gets the spawning pool. He gets the lurker den and slows the timing down on Seismic Spines. Everything is working beautifully. And by the way, we do have, at least we do have both lurker upgrades now if you're a Solar fan. And this drop should get dealt with. A bunch of 3-3 Adrenalings. Yeah, that's more than enough. So even still, Gumiho, all of a sudden, he's looking pretty solid in this setup. The tanks are sieged on the left side. Ghosts have to cloak up, run away. The army's not really prepared, not in position, not just yet. Banelings come crashing in, but the tank shots, oh, they're beautiful. They kill everything. The Banelings don't get the connections that they need at all. And now it's another dead base. Solar tried to keep this, but again, he finds himself supply blocked. And now, I mean, Solar has his side of the map, give or take. Of course, you know, he has to take the 6 o'clock position. But other than that, you know, he has his side of the map. He has his base. But he doesn't really seem able to get more than that one. His Ling's now filtering on top of the what would like to be a planetary at some point, but it's not going to do all that much. It's now ghosts again. They're going to find the Nidus. Shouldn't really pop anything out of it. It's going to, yeah. It's going to pop, but immediately will fall down here. We're going to see the vision go down as well. So now, 4 ghosts on the way. More tanks here. As we ratchet down. We tighten the straps just even further into this late game. And as much as I love Gressfon, this is certainly something that can happen. Is now just, oh, so many overlords. Just rallied, I guess, from Solar. But this is certainly a way that Gressfon can play. Right? When it very easily goes into split map scenarios where it's all about the defense and the turtle and kind of the multitasking a little bit, how well you can defend every flank of your map at the same time. And that really does seem to be what this game is turning into. Is now Gumiho. Seems like he's going to get the second to last base. The penultimate base that is afforded to him is now Lings and Banes start to try to show up here, but they can't take the fight into that many ghosts because ghosts, 6 Banes kill a ghost and they 2-shot Lings. So you do the math on that one. But a base will fall, so that's something. So now, finding their way down to the low ground, but the ghosts are going to be able to cloak away for the most part, run and hide, but they got to snipe this Overseer down. Actually, these Overseers down, EMP is on them, but you got to get more than that. So the ghosts, they're trapped into a corner here, but they're just fighting. They're just fighting everything down. They're just too much damage, even with the cloak, even with the detection. But now it seems like Solar is going to be able to clean them up at the end. And that is expensive. That was like 15 ghosts. That was 20 ghosts, something like that. You can't afford to lose that if you're Gumiho. That is so much gas. Not often in a Hydraling Bane type of game do you see the Terran player losing 2,000 more gas than the Zerg. So, yeah, you rebuild this one eventually, but that is expensive. And now the Lurkers, as they're going to try to siege up here, taking advantage of the timing of this fact that, yeah, the ghosts have died. So now it's just get on top, try to get on top of the Lurkers before they burrow, and yeah, that's a great job. So half the Lurkers die, but more are on the way. And on the bottom side, this tank line, the Lings are going to get on top of it. There is no follow-up, so more tanks will go down. Solar doing such a good job of taking advantage of this timing, of this opportunity that he got by isolating those ghosts and killing off oh so very much. Gumiho can't get above 160 supply. I mean, briefly, couldn't get above 150 supply, and he's getting above it now. But he went down to like 120 as that fungal downtown. But there really is going to be no chaining it. So this army should be able to pick up, retreat, save, whatever you want to say. Should be able to run away. And now, Gumiho's aware that this is, well, he's aware that Infest was on the field. He's aware that he's going to have to go and scan and see what's happening. But he's got +3 mech attack as well. He's got to be able to... He doesn't have Blue Flame yet. But Hellbats are going to start to get to the position where they one-shot Lings, and that's really, really nice. But for now, though, Ghosts in a corner. They get dove on top of. A couple of them maybe stay alive here. But no, the Lings are going to kill them off. So again, Solar does such a good job. Yeah, he trades army, but he dives on top of the Ghosts. And this has been 31 dead Ghosts. When Maru was dominant last year, and yeah, Ghosts have been nerfed a little bit. But not in these situations. But when Maru was dominant last year, the reason that he was so much better in this matchup than any other Terran was that he really committed to keeping his ghosts alive. Medivacs, individually saving ghosts, dropping them back, sniping down over... Like, Maru would just keep ghosts alive. Long and short of it. And Gumiho really has not been able to do that, as again, this third base under threat here. But there are a couple tanks that are just unreachable for the Lings and the Banes here of Solar. As Gumiho on the bottom side, he's going to get another base. The burrow's there, but I mean, drop a scan, kill it off. Yeah, scan is 200 odd minerals, but if you can kill 14 workers in a base, yeah, that's worth doing. So now, dropping to the main base as well as Gumiho on his multitasking once again and going up high ground. Trying to kill the 12 o'clock position as well. And seems like he's going to get it. Maybe. Actually, no. It seems like the army of Solar... Oh, no, he's going to commit to it. So this base is dead. Pick up, run away. Only lose 1 medevac's worth of stuff here. And all of a sudden, I mean, we've been talking about how that ghost count getting shut down is a pain. And it is. Only 2 ghosts on the map right now. But... Well, actually, I was going to say, but not a lot of lurkers. That's not even true. 7 lurkers are on the map, and with infestors as well. I mean, you do need those ghosts. So for now, it's going to be another dead planetary. It's going to be another dead situation here. Gumiho trades bases for bases. His tanks are just a little bit exposed. His army is just not here. Maybe he's got a little bit more room. Oh, lurkers exposed, and that suddenly justifies the lack of ghosts. It's 3 lurkers just went down. I think there are only 4 on the map right now. Yeah. So the fungals also not going to land here, and Gumiho trades in the last minute or so have been so good. Oh, so very, very good. So now, Gumiho, he continues to push his way forward here. Fungal lands just a little bit, kills off a couple more units with his concave off. Creep Banelings, they're just going to connect to tanks. That's not what you want to do here. Connecting into Banelings as well. And the cohort, the cadre of 4 ghosts sitting back now. Now they're going to be able to start to snipe out. Meanwhile, dropping the high ground clears out an entire base. So Gumiho has a nice positive setup here. Scanty gets dropped as well. So this Nidus should be dealt with. The lurker as well gets sniped down. There we go. And Gumiho now going to try to get that base once again. And Solar is really just running out of money. He's only got 68 drones. His base count is really starting to get hammered here. He's got the north side base. He's got 12 o'clock that he's been fighting over for forever. But this base that was canceled like 4 times only has 2 mineral patches. The interior base only has 7. And some of those are going to mine out, you know, fairly quickly. All of a sudden here, the economy of Solar, we're 23 minutes in, is just really starting to struggle. So if he can't get this 6 o'clock base, life is going to be very, very hard for Solar very quickly into this game. But for now, he does have most of his army on the bottom side. He is starting to take the 6 o'clock base, and he's going to try to get the 11, which should be Gumiho's base. So taking a base from Gumiho and trying to keep one of his own. I mean, that is a path to victory. But Gumiho has done such a good job of just multitasking in this game, such a good job of finding the value where it is and killing things off, of knocking bases, of denying attack patterns, denying economy, or denying expand patterns, I guess. But other lurkers arrive, and, well, Gumiho's aware of this position, so he's gonna just bring a couple more tanks over, it looks like. Try to deal with this, but Solar, he's aware that he's been found out, so he's sending his entire army over preemptively to try to deal with this before Gumiho gets set up. Gumiho thinks about diving on top of the bottom side. Doesn't get it. Not at all. But these lurkers are technically exposed, but not going to do all that much. Baneley's now going to fall down. That's a significant Baneley count that just dies, and Ghosts on the high ground should be more than enough here. They're going to snipe down a couple lurkers. Maybe a couple more. Maybe a couple more. Gets one, not the second. No extra snipes, but now you just got to pick up, run away. Parasitic Bomb on the medevacs makes things a little bit scary. And now tanks on the low ground, but you can still run away. You can still kite this out. No medevacs fall, actually. But now, snipe goes down, gets one lurker. Marauder, attacks it, kills it. And it does feel like Gumiho has to kill one of these bases. One of the 6 o'clock or the 11 o'clock to not kind of get... We were talking about how Solar's economy is rough, and it absolutely is. But if he's going to be able to... if he's going to be allowed to mine from this base and this base, that is actually unacceptable for Gumiho. He really cannot afford to allow that to happen. So now, again, this army runs forward. More tanks will fall, and just the base has to get lifted once again. You don't want to lose it. So, at the very least, Gumiho, understanding that, yeah, the majority of Solar's army is on that north side, is defending and is attacking me at the same time. At the very least, I can kill the 6 o'clock base. And also, Liberators, pretty solid against lurkers. They don't shoot up. So 10 workers will go down here as now Vipers try to find their way forward. Ling's getting on top of this base. Blinding Cloud on one tank. On the second one here, and the Ling's getting on top of a couple more Banelings continue to filter in, but no workers died just yet. The orbital falls, though. That is a powerful move coming out of Solar, but he has no money. And this base is dead. There is no saving it anymore. The army out of position. Lurkers can't take the fight that they would like to, so with this drop behind the mineral line, it's another dead base, and Solar can't rebuild his army anymore. Yeah, he got a base. Yeah, he got an orbital. That's great. That's fantastic. Gumiho has money, and Solar really and truly does not. So Lings and Mains, they're going to try to filter in once again here for Solar. Last-ditch effort is what it feels like. He's going to get a couple ghosts at the start. Tanks not sieged. This is Solar's opportunity if there ever was one, but now the Liberated siege up in the concave. Map spanning, screen spanning here. Well, it's going to do more than enough, and Solar just can't take the fight. He can't crush through. He can't break another base, and he's long-distance mining. It's never where you want to be if you're the Zerg at this point. Not when Gumiho has bases on the bottom side that he can just mule hammer the hell out of. Yeah, this base died, but he's building another orbital. He's fine. He's got 2,600, 2,700 minerals in the bank. So now, Gumiho will find, these three tanks are going to get, well, blinding clouded, and that's not wonderful. But at the end of the day, he's up significantly in army supply. He's up significantly in economy. He's up in really pretty much everything you could want. As he kites away from this last set of Banes, Hydra's running in, trying to get on top of the tanks, but now the ghosts are going to arrive. They're going to start to snipe things down, and, well, this Hydra count just feels paltry. Doesn't really feel all that great now. Here comes the reinforcements, so last of the lurkers should get shot down here, even with the ghost max range. Yeah, it's not going to work. Gumiho ties our series up. We're one apiece. And the upper left here in the red, taking game 2 in a marathon. Beautiful slog. Oh, what a game that was. It's Gumiho. And the bottom right in the blue. He took game 1 against the Mech, but fell against the Bio. It's Solar. And notably, this time, in this game number 3, there's no gas cancel. Finally, we've seen 6 total games of Solar's TVZ, and I want to say, or ZVT, and I want to say that this is the first time Solar hasn't gone gas pool hatch, or hasn't gone hatch pool gas. There we go, on the gas cancel. And I just like, it's more efficient to do it like this. I think that's kind of been solved a while ago, and I kind of like Solar's. I like this just a little more. Lets you be a little bit more greedy. So now we got double gas out of Gumiho pretty early on here. And this is off by CC first, I think. So where are we going to go? What does Gumiho have in store for us here in this game number 3? Babylon is a pretty solid Terran map. And I'm curious to see what version of shenanigans he's going to go for. So for now, Reaper's out. Factory on the way. And again, this is going to get scouted out here. Double gas. But he's not going to see the second factory. Oh, no, wait. Second barracks. Sorry, that's a second barracks. Not a second factory. We're fine. For a second here, I thought this was going to be the Maru build. Well, I don't think we can say Blue Flame is a Maru build, but I thought this was going to be a Blue Flame, something like that, but no. This is a CC first 2-1-1 coming on out of Gumiho with a heavy gas load, with a much heavier gas payload than you would normally expect. And for now, that means that Solar is going to have just the freest scout of his life. Because it's Reaper into Reactor. There is no, there's no anti-scouting safety Marine that you sometimes see. So Solar should feel very comfortable in seeing everything he could possibly want to see outside of course, the barracks that was not scouted at all. He's got no idea at all. This is a beautiful little bit of a mind game. And more importantly, this is Solar not committing hard enough to the scout. He wanted to keep his Overlord alive, I guess, but scout behind the mineral line. It feels so necessary. But now, yeah, Stim's on the way. Medevac getting added in as well. And, I mean, this is a fast 2-1-1. This is a lot of pressure that's going to hit the map very quickly coming out of Gumiho, and I don't know if Solar's going to be ready for it. I don't know that he's going to have the read about what's happening, is I think the key thing. He built 11 lings. Well, actually, no, that's never mind. He built 6 lings early, and he built a couple more. Actually, he's going to go for the counterattack on this. Hellian's able to wiggle his way out, and now, do you want to reveal that medevac, actually, if you're Gumiho? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not sure if that medevac was seen, though, by Solar. I don't think you want to, actually. I think it's very important to keep that medevac hidden for as long as possible, just to kind of remove all tells. But anyway, Stim about halfway done. +1 on the way here as now the medevac boosts out on the map, just getting damage done early as Solar looks for the rescout, but there's a full wall, so it's not going to get much. Do you drop an armory here? No, I don't think so. Anyway, the bio now stims forward, tries to get on top of the Overlord, unable to do so. But sorry, did I say stims forward? Stim's not ready yet. Stim's done in 10 seconds here, but what are we looking at? 16 Marines. There's your full 2-1-1 complement. A couple Hellions as well. And the fact that this is hitting at just before 5:30 with a 2-1-1 with Hellions and 16 Marines and Stim with the third base, everything the way it's going. This was a very greedy opener from Gumiho, but it looks like it's absolutely paying out in spades here. Because generally, you know, a 2-1-1 would be hitting it this time without Hellions. Well, maybe a little earlier, but even still, drop into the main base. He's gonna find a queen. Gonna find a spore maybe as a Stim gets dropped. Yeah, that's a dead spore at the very least. And he's not gonna commit to it actually. Just micros around behind the mineral line, takes advantage of just the lack of surface area that Link's gonna have. He's gonna kill them all. He's gonna get all the Lings. Meanwhile, Hellions into the third. They get 3 workers right now. Now the medevac has to run away, and eventually this is gonna get dealt with. But that was a heavy price to pay, and a lot of lost mining time. But that was a heavy price to pay in Lings. That is 48 Lings and 4 drones. Yeah, 15 Marines died, and you lost a couple medevacs, and I think that would have been very good if the medevacs had stayed alive. Even with the medevacs dying, it's still pretty solid. But hell, 4 Marines, a tank, in a medevac here. 4 Marines in a medevac, in a tank, and 4 Marines and a tank walk up to a bar. Bartender says, I don't know what bartender says. There we go. Dropping the main base once again. This time that spore should die very easily. We add this tank to things, and it's just a little bit more damage. Makes it a little bit harder for things to engage, but the tank never sieges. It's kind of a weird decision, actually, if you think about it. Lings get on top of tanks very quickly. So, a little odd. But regardless, third base now, going on the way for Gumiho. Got pretty good damage early with that 2-1-1 with the drop. Killed off a bunch of Lings, got some workers as well. But now he's gotta wait for his armor upgrade, maybe more production here. He's gonna find the 4th base. Not gonna kill it. There's no way the single drop kills it, but he does target a bailing down. Maybe gets no. Okay, doesn't get the second. Oh yeah, minor traits. But we do have an armory done. We got double eBay on the way. So Gumiho, or done, excuse me. So Gumiho is now getting into that second round of upgrades pretty quickly. And in fact, he's going to have some level of an upgrade lead for a good majority of this game. He's going to have, I think his 1-1 is actually going to be done before Solar's. So that is going to be really nice. And then, you know, +2 is faster and it's going to go from there. So Gumiho doing a pretty solid job here of maintaining the tempo. Denying creep, of kind of making the map feel small for the Zerg as much as you can, but we're starting to hit the point where that's what it is. 4 Marines in a tank walk up to a bar. Bartender says, "I'm sorry, there is no counter." Tank and 4 Marines walk up to a bar. Bartender says, I'm sorry, we don't serve drunk people here. You know, you've had too much. Marines in the tank say, no, that's fine. We're just imba. We're just imbalanced. Because, you know, they wobble up and... Anyway. You walk unsteadily. You walk imbalanced. It's fine. This is a nice little pushing position coming out of Gumiho. He's got a tank. He's got Marines. Now, the Queens are going to fight strong for quite a while. It's a significant HP buffers. This is a massive surround coming in. But this tank positioning is beautiful right now. So many Banelings are getting targeted down here. Tank maybe gets the rest of them, but now triple drop into the main base. Going to find some Queens at the very least. The medevac goes down, but all the Marines get out of it. And now let's see how much damage they can find. The Queens are dead. Lings filter in, but they're going to die here as well. And well, so too do the Hydras. The drones, for the most part, they're running away, and it's just going to be 6 dead drones. It's going to be a lot of dead Lings. It's going to be a dead Queen. It's going to be a dead Hydra. And nice move there from Gumiho. Worked out very, very well for him. So he's got a 4th base on the way now. 6th, 7th, and 8th racks. He's looking solid. Moving into the late game on the 2-1 timing that he had. +2 armor on the way, +3 attack. Gumiho just going like gangbusters. He's playing so very well right now, and he's gonna get the base. Oh, it's a kill too. It's not even a cancel. So 300 minerals down the drain in a game where realistically Solar has been taking some pretty heavy punches. And a centuple drop, 5 medevacs in this drop into the main. They're gonna snipe the hive. There is not enough. Nothing is gonna be able to keep this alive in time. Solar's just out of position. So hive goes down, or excuse me, they're gonna snipe the lair, which means there will be no hive quickly at all. And target fire there on some Banes, but forced back out eventually, as I think one medevac got fairly low. Oh, it's not going to get killed, though. And now, onto the low ground once again. So, main base dead. Spawning pool actually is dead here, which means that you can build Hydras, that's it, but Hydras by themselves don't fight particularly well, so Lings come filtering in here. Gotta get the Banelings, and they're gonna have to run away for the moment. But now it's Hydras and Banes around a corner with a tank ready to fire. Get one Baneling, target the second one down here. And this firing position again from Gumiho is impressive. More importantly, here come the reinforcements around the right side. The Banelings, they just don't get the connections that they want at all on the right side, neither. The command, the target fire here from Gumiho is beautiful. Drones have to get pulled, but it's not enough at all. And Gumiho with one fell swoop is gonna move on to the round of 4 shades of Jonkoping. But he's gonna have to go even further than that. 16 drones died. The Hydras are dead. Everything for Solar is dead and gone in this game. There's nothing left. Not anymore. That reinforcing line from Gumiho came in at just the right time. It killed everything. Now Gumiho, he's going to have to maybe smack down a couple more bases. Solar's got 4 to his name, but that position's dead. So much of the army of Solar's down. And at this point, I mean, it's 50 army supply in the gutter. And by the way, I said 4 bases. One of those doesn't even count. It's the dead main. So realistically, it's a dead Solar here in this winner's match. He's now going to have to face either ByuN or Maru in the finals. But Gumiho, what a way to end that game in style. Stimming across the map, recognizing that opportunity. That's a solid 2-1. And by the way, he took down Maru in match 1 as well. This is a Gumiho that is on fire. Well played, Gumiho.